Twitter page from the Plooshies, and then you can grab the tweet.
Sweet.
I just let our community know in Discord as well. Where's the channel here? All right.
What emojis do you guys typically use?
I use mine. You know the typical one, the cat that's saluting. That's with the cat with the salute. It's just me. Like, it's literally my plushie, just doing the same one.
Cat salute. Oh, okay. I don't know if I can find that. Where is that?
Oh, do you mean on X or
on X? On X.
On X. Yeah, usually I use a lot the salute one or the abstract one, quote unquote. Yeah, I think those are the ones that I use the most. And the red, green, and blue heart emoji, because it's kind of like part of the Plooshies lore. So I use those a lot as well.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
And LF Plush. We tend to say LF Plush. Kind of like you guys, the chimp one, like command chimp. For us, is LF Plush.
Okay, I'll do that.
Oh, I need to press go live on abstract. Whoops. Damn. Forgot about that. I always forget about that.
Have you guys been streaming a lot on abstract recently?
Yeah, pretty much since day one.
I know you had the lo-fi. You had the lo-fi, didn't you? I remember seeing that.
Oh, but that's on YouTube. And there was now he's actually part of the team, but he was streaming the lo-fi channel on abstract for quite a while. But then Finn was saying, like, you know what, you can't do 24/7 streams, because apparently, and it is quite expensive to run stream, like a streaming service, like they're doing it with the portal. So they were like pretty adamant with that, and they're like, nah, mate, you can't do that anymore. But this lo-fi stream can be found on YouTube. It's running 24/7. It's really cool. Like, I know you can guess who created. You can see actually Cole here with his penguin.
That's sick.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let me finish posting this on Discord, and then I'll do that as well. Do you call it Twitter or X, by the way? What do you prefer?
I call it Twitter still. I have never been able to shake it and change to X. It just doesn't sound right to me. But,
sounds weird, in it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. We were talking with the other lead 3D artist, and he calls it Twitter X. not one or the other. He just puts them together.
Good compromise. Good compromise. Might have to give it a try.
I'm almost done, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just sharing our Discord as well.
Red, green, and blue. All right. Done. I'll just requote this. All right, let's see how many people have joined so far. All right, I think we can kickstart this. Cole, do you want to swap the lo-fi channel to your your magic, I would say. I can't wait to see this one. I think this one's gonna look sick, mate. Not gonna lie. But
Yeah,
all right, let me just kickstart this stream today or tonight, whatever you are. Anyways, welcome, guys. Welcome again to another epic live 3D art session with the goat Cole. And today we have a very special guest. I think this is it's long overdue. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with Chimpers and with Inside as well. So today I'm very excited to finally find the time with him to bring him to one of our live streams. Both of us we fit in this cute meta, like they're doing insane stuff for quite some time. We've been following you guys for a while. I'm pretty sure our community as well, they just kind of maybe want to know a little bit more about you guys, the stuff that you've been doing, since when you've been doing it. But yeah, without further ado, I just want to welcome you guys again to another fucking epic streaming session. And Insight, the floor is yours.
yeah.
Welcome, welcome, mate.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. I was gonna say two things. Like, first, you guys doing these streams, I've always been seeing them on X, and I think I even messaged Cole. It's like such a cool thing, like chill vibes,
Mm,
like just relaxed, like creating art. Like, not many people are doing that, like giving the behind the scenes look into
mm,
creation. So huge props to you guys. I think it's really nice. Love the idea. And yeah, just generally, like you say, long overdue.
yep.
I think there's so much going on in the space. Sometimes you forget to just pause for a minute and vibe
Yeah,
and hang out. And yeah, excited to see Cole's rendition. The tail is looking nice and long, which
I
I like
know.
to see. But yeah, Cole's the goat as well. We like love working with
Yeah,
Cole on things as well. So yeah, it's just legends here right now. So I appreciate you
this
having
is
me on.
this is interesting though, because maybe some of our community members don't know, but Cole has done a bunch of stuff for you guys, obviously related to 3D. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. And actually, before that, you were saying you're right. Like sometimes it's just nice to wind down for a bit. We've been doing these streams for quite a while, and it was actually not my idea. This was Cole's idea back in 2023,
Hmm.
because we were doing these streams just in our Discord. Like it was sort of like one of those community building processes that we had. And Cole
Yes.
came with the idea like, hey, maybe we should start, doing some of these. I can start creating custom artwork for our community. And then after that, one of our whales was suggesting, like, guys, what you guys are doing is pretty unique. Like, I'm not seeing this anywhere else. Why don't you start bringing this to X and YouTube, for instance?
Hmm.
And we're like, yeah, dude, this sounds cool, but first of all, how do we stream it on X? Like we didn't have any clue, right? So
Complicated.
obviously we
Yeah.
had to go through that learning process and stuff, and then we started introducing these to X by bringing again. It was kind of like the same format, like bringing some of our community members. Some of them were kind of shy, so it was mostly Cole and I doing these streams. And then something clicked, and we are like, dude, this is why don't we start bringing our existing network? Let's bring our friends. Um, let's bring our friends, whether that be people who are part of other communities, or maybe builders, or founders, or KOLs, and let's plushify the space, right? Like this is our idea of plushy proliferation and plushifying everyone, right? And it's just a casual combo. Like people who are familiar with our streams, like we keep it super casual, honestly. Once we get the opportunity to see something like this, right? Like I think it's pretty epic. But yeah, honestly, you know, credit where credit's due, and Cole is the one who came up with this idea, like bringing this. And but yeah, going back to the question, Insight, tell us a little bit about what this 3D aspect of Chimpers. Like, what's up with that? Because we know that Cole has been doing stuff for you guys. Do you want to start with that?
Yeah, sure. Happy to start there. I think, yeah, we're stealing coal. Sorry, guys. No, we're, yeah, had a lot of fun working with Cole on several things. I think Chimpers, when we first launched, obviously it launched as a pixel art project from Timpers, and from there, it's sort of like taken a life on its own and expanded into various different formats, whether that's, like the Instagram and TikTok kawaii
Mm,
style or, illustration from community, etc. And yeah, 3D was just like another area that we've explored. It specifically relates to our collectible card app, which is like a product that we released in the past year to sort of
mm,
bring digital physical collecting to the community and wider Web3 community. And Cole has been helping us with renders of cards, and
mm.
I'm sure he can speak to it as well, doing all of the magic stuff to sort of bring all of that to life. But yeah, 3D is no easy feat. I think just
Mm.
from working and just overseeing like what Cole does and
Yep.
previously, like 3D is just such a time consuming, delicate process. And we don't have like a full 3D like collection of chimpers, but
Mm.
it's, always something that we're, thinking potentially in the future. But yeah, no, respect the craft, and it's yeah, really good working with Cole. As you can see, he's awesome. So
Yeah,
um
dude, honestly, by you saying that maybe at the moment there's not a 3D collection of chimpers, well, I personally would love to see the chimpers IP on Plooshy Island. And what better person to create one for Plooshy Island than Cole, right?
definitely.
I would absolutely love to see your IP on Plooshy Island, like 100%. Like I've been following you guys for quite a while. Um, I used to have chimpers. I don't know why I don't have them anymore, but I need to get back into it because I really love what you guys have done. I feel like when we look at the overall sort of NFT market, right? At least on ETH, one of the collections and communities that really stand up for the past 2 3 years is the chimpers, right? You guys have done phenomenal work. I gotta give you those flowers, and it's something that I love to see, right? And people know you. Obviously, people know Timpers as well. People are familiar with some of the community members as well that are very active on social media. Obviously, having Cole as well doing stuff for you guys work because I mean he can use that as well. But yeah, maybe before we dive deep into that, uh, I would like to get to know you a little bit more inside because before we jumped on, before we went live, I was saying that I got the opportunity to hang out with you guys just briefly, like 2 years ago at NFT Paris, and I remember that you used to have a booth there,
Yeah.
and I was just, we were pretty much starting as the Plooshies. We didn't even have anything planned like 2 years ago. I was just going there with one of another team member of us. Shout out to Sophie, by the way. And but yeah, inside, like, do you wanna tell us like how did you get into crypto before you actually found it or took a leadership position with Chimpers? How was that for you? Like, what was the moment where you're like, I want to dive
Yeah.
deep into this crypto sort of thing?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, for me, it all started in in 2021.
Mm,
If like the yeah viewers aren't familiar, like Chimpers holders are, but myself and Timpers are twins. So like he as an artist came into the space in early 2021, and from there decided that he wanted to create. And yeah, I joined the space shortly after, and it basically came from him essentially. He brought me into the space. I was yeah just recently graduating and decided like what I wanted to do, and was just following what he was up to in the space in Web3. Created
mm,
a Twitter page, started writing about NFTs and community in general, just to get my own understanding and figure out like what's going on in the space. So yeah, it was more so from like indirectly from him trying to figure out like what he was up to as an artist and yeah, wrapping my head around it all. But it was in 2021, and yeah, just from then have been just all in the space since then.
Wow, since 2021, that's it's been a minute, hey.
Yeah,
Um,
it's been a while.
how do
Yeah,
you what would you say are one of those main changes that you've seen? Because I'm certain, and I keep telling that I'm not sure, or maybe I'm actually more than sure that we're not gonna see those craziness, like crazy levels that we saw back in 21 and 2022.
yeah.
Um, but what do you see like one of the biggest changes so far from like the projects that we're building or we're trying to do something in 2021 that maybe they're not even with us today anymore? Um,
Yeah, it's so hard to put like a finger on it. I think like back in 21 it was like such a it was just like a sprint of craziness really. Like one
mm,
week after the other, like things were happening, and it just felt like there was a lot of mainstream attention on crypto in general and NFTs. I think I think just because it was so novel back then, like it's been like a few years now. I think back then in 21, I think people were still sort of just figuring it out and hearing about things, and I think
mm,
that's what really brought a lot of people to the space. It was that sort of like there was no familiarity with what was going on, and I mean just personally for me that was my sort of experience. It was wow, like Timpers is creating art and he's auctioning these artworks on a marketplace for ETH, and people are actually buying them. And he was a YouTuber that created tutorials and content around
is
pixel
that
art.
right? Oh wow.
Yeah, he built a YouTube channel like up to like 40,000 subscribers and worked in the sort of esports scene and gaming, and made streaming packages and templates for like Dan TDM or Pokimane, and just people like that who were creating content on Twitch. And like he was just a graphic designer, so he was working on commissions, and that's like how he made his means, and in that sort of space. But never had he had like the independence to create something of his own, like as an artist,
Mm,
whereby he's not being dictated by a commission or a client. He just created something like from the top of his head, and people out there are collecting it. It was just unfathomable for him, and also like my friend group and myself. It was like
mm,
just very interesting. So I think that sort of was something that really attracted people. And obviously
yep.
I think that culture of supporting each other as artists and collecting,
Mm,
there was less speculation. It was more
yes,
sort of
100%.
it was more so centered around community and culture, and just this new sort of yeah, just this new sort of thing that people were really excited to be a part of. And I think that has sort of fizzled out over the past few years, and things have
Mm,
definitely become a lot more finance. There's a lot more speculation and yeah, less of the culture and community. But I think there's a lot of people still trying to do that. It's just
yep.
not necessarily the thing that's attracting people at the moment. But yeah, a lot of things have changed.
Mm,
It feels like things have flown by in the past few years, but so much has happened, so much has changed. Um, and yeah, I do think like the space is definitely on a better track again. I think like in 23 2023, 24, it felt like things were, um, yeah, with the whole NFT space, like people were sort of losing faith, and I
yeah.
think the good vibes are starting to trickle back in. I think
Mm,
projects are sort of fulfilling what they want to do and the direction they want to go in, and a lot more around trying to bring in new people to learn about the space. I think as well, like the stain that has been put on like NFTs and crypto in general from like the outside space is like
Mm.
quite scary in some respects. Like you go to any other like news outlet or like Instagram comments or
Yeah.
anywhere on
It's always
social
gonna be
media.
scammers,
Exactly.
grifters. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
and it's like how do you build that reputation back and how do you encourage people to get involved? And I think it is sort of moving away from that speculation phase and more so on like entertainment and fun and what sort of brought people originally. I think also I hope. But yeah, things have changed a lot.
With that in mind, though, like saying that, it's very, very tough out there, right? Like, as someone who's been building an IP company based on NFTs and blockchain and crypto and all of that, how do you go about breaking that barrier, right? Because I mean, if we're honest with ourselves, we're still living in, this is a niche, right? It's a niche industry, and it's a niche of a niche.
Yeah.
It's super small.
Hmm.
How have you guys managed to bring your IP to other audiences that maybe are not that tapped into crypto and are falling in love with the IP and the cuteness of the Chimpus characters? Um,
Yeah, it's a good question. I think yeah, like when we first started Chimpers in May 2022, the whole sort of essence of it and like the core of it was built on good energy, making people smile,
mm,
adventure, and all around fun in general. And that's what we brought into Chimpers in like the first 2 years through heavily focused like Web3 experiences and games and community and culture and all of these different things to really, cement the foundations for Chimpers as like a really positive and a good vibes community. But it wasn't necessarily like reaching outwards. It was very inwards. And I think, even just in the Web3 space, you do have to balance it with, focusing on the community, but then also, attracting people outside of it and encouraging them to take a look at the project and what's going
mm,
on. And for us, we just had that conundrum of like, how do we do that as, Chimpers as a brand? We want to build Chimpers into a brand that is known and loved for those same ethos of like making you smile, good energy, and all around adventure. How do we do that on a bigger scale so that people who aren't involved in Web3 can learn more? It was around February 2023 when we decided
mm.
to sort of take what was really important from Chimpers, like the characters like Sensei Master Chimpo and
Yep.
Chimpers and Chimpy, and create new characters that were basically like infused with all of the parts of Chimpers in this new kawaii art line style that was inspired by like the pixel art and the Chimpverse, but was more sort of friendly and mass appealing and
Mm,
sort of relatable. So yeah, we just decided we'd create an Instagram, we'd create a TikTok, we'd start experimenting with short form content
yep.
to not necessarily learn about like the deep lore that we've been building across like the past few years or like the intricacies of like the characters and the world, but more so just like the essence of Chimpers, making you smile, making you feel positive and just short form digestible content really, and that's
Mm,
what we did. We had no expectation of like where it would go, but like experimenting with like the videos and the different trends and original formats, we found like a really great niche to push Chimpa's IP to like a whole new audience,
Yeah.
and help them fall in love with Chimpas the same way that the whole of the Web3 Chimpas community loves the brand as well. So that's was one of the sort of core things for us, is like really leaning into that content strategy to push us further outwards, really.
I think it's so interesting though, because obviously you look at the IP from the Web3 side of things and it's pixel art, right? Obviously created, but arguably one of the greatest pixel artists in our industry, which is Timpus, obviously. And then you found a way to, hey, how do we introduce our IP in these other social media formats, right? Like where we can start attracting new audiences that are not that tapped into crypto. And you were spot on by this is obviously my opinion, right? Like by identifying certain characters from your IP that can be drawn, in this 2D kawaii style, and just like you said, just creating digestible content, relatable content, like everyday stuff. And then you were like kind of like, trial and error, and up
Mm.
until you were able to find that specific, I guess, content that was hitting pretty well with that audience. How long would you say it took you guys to realize we are definitely onto something here with the short animations that we're doing, with the obviously, I guess, you onboarding you to the artists and animators to create all of that. Um,
Yeah,
what was that process for you?
yeah, it was. I mean, it was quite like a beautiful sort of evolution. I think like the artists who work on the Instagram and TikTok and all of our branding for Chimpers they're a team called Catist and Lulu, and they are Chimpers holders, and they
Oh
had
wow.
always made, yeah, they'd always made trailers and fan art and created, just like Cole is now, like community made
Mm,
content. And we were inspired by it and loved what they did. And they had captured like just exactly what Chimpers is all about. And we knew we had to work with them. So we just started with things here and there. And then obviously line art is their sort of specialty, and that kawaii
mm,
style. And we knew that like the audience that we wanted to hit, like being this sort of lifestyle character brand, like female sort of driven world, is
mm,
very much on Instagram and TikTok, and very much drawn to that style. So that's what really led us down that path. But it took us, a while to experiment. If you go through like some of the characters like 2 years ago, the early
mm.
content, it looks completely different to like what it is
Oh
today.
wow.
So everything's evolved, like the character style, the content style. But I think we were quite lucky in the respect that like it was only like a couple months in when we started to get traction with videos. And
So good.
um,
Nice.
yeah, the algorithm, like
Mm.
hit a few videos here and there that just went crazy viral. But by no means have we cracked the process. It's still very much a trial and experiment format, because things change all the time. But what we're just trying to do is really slowly and steadily like cultivate community, like the same way that we have
Yeah.
with the Web3 collectors and Chimp Farm. Like we're equally, trying to, step by step, help them fall in love with the brand. And
Mm.
it's not an easy process. It's not a quick process, but yeah, we're just staying consistent with it. And yeah, experimenting is the main thing.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love the fact that I didn't know that the animators and the 2D artists came from your community. I
Yes,
find that it's such a lovely and inspiring story, because it is one of the core essences of building your NFTs, building in crypto and shit. Because
absolutely.
you take into account the community, and you brought them in. They were doing this for the love of the IP, and then you guys saw the potential. You guys had the converse and talks, and then you started pushing that. I think that's insanely beautiful and it's brilliant. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
community standing up for like the stuff that they actually like, right? And let's figure out how we can push this more. Because sorry to interrupt you, but it's just one of those things that more often than not, your community members are insanely talented, are goated. Like there's experts in their field, and it's just a matter of finding them, and if they really are passionate and they want to elevate the brand with you as well as a team, as a builder, it's just perfect. I think that's just it's amazing. I didn't know that story, so thank you for sharing that.
no, yeah, absolutely. I think like piggybacking on what you said about like if you're not utilizing the community and tapping into like their talents, like you're missing a trick because like you say, like there's experts, everywhere, but not necessarily just experts, just people passionate about
Yeah.
wanting to build the IP together, and that's what is the foundation of this space. It's like co-creation, and IP building together and being involved in the process. It's not that
Mm,
typical model of, just creating and consuming. It's like, let's hear your ideas. Let's, work with community members on specific activations. Let's bring in
yep.
artists. And for us, like with Chimpers, we've from the very beginning, we've always leaned into that, whether it's art, whether it's, events, you name it. Like we've gone to the community first and have never sort of looked to outsource anything outside the space unless we very much needed to. And yeah, I think by doing so, like the relationships and like the respect that's also formed on top of that is something that's like really powerful. And
Mm.
yeah, very much an advocate for that. And obviously, yeah, Katis and Lulu have been amazing.
Shout
We've,
out to them, by the way. Yes, 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 yes.
absolutely, we've definitely found like just the most awesome duo ever. Like they're so passionate, so driven to, want to make Chimpers succeed. And
Mm.
I think that's really special.
I think it's interesting though, because obviously being in this space for quite a few years, you get to see like this sort of like hype pre-mint, and a lot of people looking to get Wiley spots just because it's super hype and they create fun art, right? But
Yeah.
then after they're done and they get their Wiley spot, and more often than not, you see them, flipping or whatever, they just leave, and you don't see that a lot of people would stay to keep doing that. Like it's kind of like the pre phase of like, I'm gonna build fan art just because I want to get something off you, but not creating something because I want to keep pushing that brand. So
Mm.
finding, I think it's amazing though, right? Like when you find these sort of people, like it's just the perfect way. Like, hey, let's do something together. Let's build together. Let's find ways to bring you into the team. And I think, yeah, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's like a two-way street, isn't it? You have to provide value to encourage that sort of that incentive and to participate, really. So it is
Mm,
it is a it's a balance. But when you like meet that and have people that do, want to, go above and beyond, then yeah, that's so special. And like you say, people do come and go. Like that's just only natural, like with the
mm-hmm.
space and of what it's built on. But the people that stick around and the people that you see in Twitter group chats and
Yeah.
Discord that just drop in to say hello, those are the people that really count. So yeah,
For instance, what would you say is the perfect way to describe the Chimpus today? Like we've seen kind of like that process since you guys minted in May 2022, and all the stuff and products that you've been able to bring, right, to life, like whether that be digital experiences, or IRL activations, activating your IP in Web 2. Um, if someone would look at the Chimpers today, obviously because now it's been since 2022, what would you say is the best way to bring them into your ecosystem? Um, what
yeah,
what would people be looking at? Like,
yes. No, 100%. I think, yeah, like you say, like there's been so much over the past few years, and like just from like a high level, like from 2022 to like 2023, we're just forming the foundations, trying to figure out like the community and
Mm,
understanding like where we want to go. And I think from then onwards, we've sort of like refined the path, and there's been so much, along the way, gaming, collectibles, events, etc., which all people have joined because they love parts of those, and
mm,
wanted to see more. But I think as we've grown and sort of set the stage to set Chimpers bigger and better as like a brand. And I'd say, just uh, like TLDR would probably be like a Chimpers is very much an internet native,
mm,
Web3 born character brand that is lifestyle and collectible focused. And as we're sort of now building like the brand through different content formats and moving into product and lifestyle with like our online shop, which has come in. We've had, collectibles as well, like with U2s and figurines,
mm.
etc. It's very much this lifestyle collectible community. And
Yep.
yeah, there's various ways to get involved. Obviously, the Chimpers NFT is the membership access, which like everyone provides that sweet access
Mm,
and benefits of our staking and loyalty and all of the different perks of just holding Chimpers. And then there's obviously various other ways. We have our collectible card app that we released, which is like really leaning into what people loved.
mm,
With trading cards was always like something that the Chimpers community loved seeing, and like the gaming experiences that we made early on. So we sort of leaned into that, and as a product, it's now become something that everyone can get involved with, not just Chimpers holders. So we release like monthly drops on there, where you can rip packs, collect
oh,
digital
cool.
cards, redeem physicals as well, and obviously it's like online drops, but like with our online shop, we'll have NFT
Mm,
gift products where you can scan and collect as well. In real life events, whether you're at like Art Basel, we was there recently, you could tap to collect cards as well. So building
oh,
out
sweet.
this like fun collectible experience is one way to get involved as well. And yeah, then obviously there's just the championing of the brand and the enjoyers of the content. So yeah, I think again, like we've very much sort of refined focus like over time into like we are trying to bridge into like the wider world and really bring in people to Chimpers, that can get involved slowly and steadily into not just like the content and fandom of like the characters and the content and different products that were released, but like on a deeper level as well through like collecting and
Mm.
various other things. So yeah, that's probably the TLDR, I guess.
No, beautifully put though, because I mean, obviously it's heaps of info, but that's because you guys have been doing and shipping a bunch of different stuff, right? Like you've been obviously telling us about, the content that you've been putting out there, the gaming aspect of it, now focusing on uh, the trading cards, which I think it's really cool. And it's one way to kind of like expand your ecosystem and bring people in that way, whether they find maybe that a chimpus at the moment might not be that financially accessible for some people because it might be expensive for some. So you have these trading card games where you can bring them in, or it's simply by following the social media profiles, so you can follow the characters and the content and stuff. Tell me a little bit about these trading cards. Like, how does one get involved with it? Like, where do I buy them? You mentioned your online store already. Do I just simply go to that website? Are you on a specific chain? Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess I should probably explain better. I think the online store is in relation to like our Web2 socials, like a storefront directly for lifestyle products, accessories, whether that's like plush keychains,
Gotcha.
apparel. and various other soft lines and hard lines as well that will be coming. So that's more so on the yeah, like the lifestyle sort of front for, in the character brand world. Starting with that is, people will be, keen to collect, but like on the digital aspect of things, the Chimpers card app is just our own app that you can directly access via cards.chimpers.com. And it initially started out on base. It's a very sort of Web2 friendly process. So all you have
Mm.
to do is connect your email. It will set up a wallet for you on the back end and create a profile. And on the contrary, if you want, if you're Web3 native, you can directly log in via MetaMask or any other wallet extension. And yeah, it sets you up a profile. And right now, what the app is currently living in is just a drop format. So like every month, there's a direct sale. We just recently had one called Web3 Anarchy, where you could collect
Mm.
packs with credit card or crypto or any token in your wallet. So we've built a really cool payment solution feature that allows you to literally use Pengu. It allows you to use anything.
Oh wow,
Um,
including Pengu too. Far out.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And our next drop, if you go to the card app, you'll see it's with Final Bosu on
Mm.
Abstract, which is towards the start of May. So yeah, it's a multi-chain experience. Like we've released drops on Base, we've released drops on Ape Chain, and Abstract is coming next.
Yep.
But yeah, right now it's solely collectible. You rip packs, you get digital cards, you can redeem the physical version of those cards as well, and then there's a whole bunch of gamification like impacts. There's various rewards that you can win, whether it's NFTs, whether it's merch, and
Mm.
really sort of honing in on what we mentioned earlier. It's that collaborative aspect of, not just leaning into our own community, not just leaning into, a specific artist. It's really sort of being collaborative, bringing on board creators who are from that community, or bringing in rewards and goodies from that community as well. And there's just, yeah, making it accessible for everyone is what we want to do. And down the line, we want to gamify it even further. So it's not just a static experience. It's more gamified, and yeah, right. You put it, quite perfectly. Right now, it's sort of a vehicle to expand our ecosystem.
Mm.
Bring people into Chimpers who wasn't necessarily aware of them, whether that's through like the the on-chain footprint through Base and their Coinbase wallet, people who've never even heard of Chimpers, or whether it's, just on Abstract, like communities that love Abstract and the Final Bosu community.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to just bring Chimpers to everyone. So it's a fun way to do that while staying true to something that the community like really enjoyed. So it's just a fun way to get involved at a lower level, really.
Yeah, I absolutely love that because if this was something that, for instance, if I remember correctly, like you were saying, like the community was asking for something like this, and you kind of like tapped into it, and you were like, "Yeah, I mean, this makes sense. Let's look into that." How did the community react the first time that you brought these trading cards? Like, were they like super stoked, super happy? Obviously, I mean, I guess the short version of it would be like, yes, they're super stoked because you keep bringing more. But yeah, like how was that first drop for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. I think the community was stoked to get involved with it, and collect. And we had the privilege of doing it with Base at the time, who
Mm,
obviously like their amplification of like the Coinbase wallet and extending into that whole sort of sphere of Base was really cool. And I think what's excitable to the community is expanding and bringing
yep.
more attention, bringing more eyes to the community is always something that is probably what most people hope for. So it was a really cool way to do that. And obviously, as we've gone along, it's still experimenting. Like I said earlier on, it's the beauty of Web3 is that you can't be perfect right away. It's you're
Mm.
building from the ground up here with the community, and we've taken many suggestions and figuring out what people like and what they don't like, and just trying to refine things to the best of our ability, and
Yep.
trying to keep things engaging with different drops, different art styles. We tapped into the ape chain community as well with a recent drop that Timpers did, called the Diamond Fleece set, which was like a homage piece to what Chimpers was prior to May 2022. And that was this sort of artwork storytelling series around the Bored Apes, which Timpers had
Mm.
created in 2021. So he created a card set that sort of was
Wow.
inspired by that and released on Ape Chain for like a really cool homage set, and that was really fun. But as we go along, there'll be things that people don't like and want to see
Mm.
more of, and that's what we're trying to do. But overall, I think the community of it really enjoyed collecting. It's just our duty to really sort of make it more engaging and fun and accessible to them over time. So that's what we're trying to do.
Oh, dude, you're giving me a little bit of FOMO. I want to start ripping those cards, and because you said that I can actually collect them as well, right? Like the physical cards as well. Like I can redeem them. Um,
Yeah. Uh,
do you have some of those that you can show us, maybe?
yeah. This isn't from one of the recent sets, but it's and it's not in the packaging, but it's yeah, like a really cool cased stand with the card. I don't know if you can see it really that
No, yeah, I
well.
can sit.
Um, and yeah, like really, focusing on the quality of the card as a collectible. And people just love ripping them open and collecting the sets. So yeah, over time we hope to sort of gamify things and add an extra layer to that sort of collecting experience.
Right.
Um, but yeah, like I say, really, really fun and easy way to get involved and join the Discord as well and get access to that via being a card holder. But also as we expand over time, there'll be various other ways to collect. Like I said, with our online shop, we'll
Yep.
have like a cool way to collect as well through various products on there as well.
Do you guys have an ETA for that online shop, or you don't want to fully commit to a date or whatever?
No, yeah, so we have done like a few limited drops so far. Like we did the U2's Master Chimpo plushie that's above me. I
Oh,
don't know if
yes.
you can see him.
It's
That
amazing, though. I've seen it live, and it's so cool, dude. Honestly, it's so cool.
yeah, I mean that again, that was like a really cool opportunity that came to us from just the social media
Mm.
aspect of U2's approached us because they really enjoyed the content and we were able to get the opportunity to do that. They do collabs with a lot of people on plushies, but it was really cool to do that, and that was awesome. And then we've done the figurine,
Mm-hmm.
but we haven't necessarily with Chimpers leaned into like a ton of physical products. And it's something that people have always asked for. Like right now, I'm repping the Goons hoodie from Jesse and Drew, the Goons gang.
Yep.
Chimpers have never had a Web3 hoodie. Like we've not done it.
Is that right?
So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Dude,
it's
it's like you're probably one of the few that haven't done that, who've been
I
with us
know
since like 2022, mate. Far
we're missing out. We've missed the boat. But yeah,
out. Lol.
with the online shop, it's more so leading into like lifestyle character brand world of like where Chimpers
Mm.
is and meeting the audience where they're at. And
Yep.
you know, we exhibited at the Licensing Expo last year in May, and that's where we met our shop partner, 223 J Corp. There
Mm.
uh, a softline apparel and hardline company that manufactures for a lot of different IPs, and we met them there, and they're now working with us. we've released a few things here and there. Like I mentioned, we did Art Basel, a pop up. So we released some T-shirts and other accessories there with them. But we'll be at the expo this year. Well, next month,
Oh
next
wow.
month, next month with exhibiting at their booth. We'll be showcasing some of the products that's going to be a part of our online shop line, which is
Oh
hopefully
nice.
launching pretty soon after end of May, early June, around that time. So yeah, just excited to get those out there in the wild and really start building that sort of character branded product line for
Yep.
chippers.
Wow. So it's so good though because you what was the decision you guys took when you were like, okay, we need to go to this licensing expo, which was the first one last year, right? Like, what
Yeah.
made you? Who pushed you guys to be there? Because then, obviously, then down the line, you were able to meet your partners, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I feel like that's such a. I feel like not that many people in Web3 are doing that. So kudos to you guys for doing it. Um,
Yeah, I think it mainly stemmed from like the path that we're sort of embarking down. It's the entertainment world is very much you know, encapsulated by these trade shows, and being present at them is important, like especially like in
mm,
the early days. Like I'd say for chimpers, like it's still quite premature, like when we're speaking about like licensing and getting opportunities to do big deals.
mm,
A lot of brands aren't willing to take the risk on like new IP and um, you know, just being present there and just getting an understanding of how it works was really the mission for us. So although
yep,
we did exhibit there, it was more so like, what are people doing? What can we achieve? Like from the conversations, like what are
yeah,
people, looking for? And yeah, like we was, quite lucky to get the connection there, but for us, it was mainly a focus of we're working with a team called Playwell, who are a licensing duo who like come from the entertainment world. They're just a small boutique sort of company, but they've been working with us since 2023 when we like shortly
mm,
after we moved from the so shortly after we moved into the content realm, we sort of started working with them to
yep.
just basically refine the brand and like the
Mm,
direction. And yeah, just from there, we've been present at like a few places. Like we was at Comic Con, we was recently at the New York Toy Fair. So just trying to be present and building that brand equity and reputation is really
yep.
key because like there's people who go to these shows every single year, and if you want to be taken seriously, as like a character brand, you'd expect it to be present and not just miss a year or
Mm,
there's various ways you can do it, but like we wanted to be present just to make a statement and back this year, and yeah, just trying to get out there really amongst that crowd is important, but it's not necessarily the right thing. There could be other shows or other events that equally could bring the same sort of value. But
yeah.
I think, yeah, for us, we just wanted to be present. But yeah.
Yeah, I think for you guys it was pretty well done. As in, like it was proper market research because obviously it's one of the directions that you guys are taking in with the brand, with the IP, and you really needed to know, like, hey, how does this whole thing kind of work, right? So yeah, I mean, oh, dude, sorry, I just got distracted with what Cole was doing with the eyes,
It's so
which,
I
by the
know
way,
it's so
it
sick.
it it looks so sick already. It looks so cool, like kind of jealous that I don't have that hat because it's so good. Like
The
it
Fox
looks so
Beanie
good.
is pretty
Yep.
damn awesome. I'm biased, but yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of like foxes in like the Plooshies universe as well, so I've got an affinity to you guys, I guess. hopefully get
Thanks, mate.
the cred from you guys.
Yeah, I feel like when I started this by saying this is kind of like long overdue, like reaching out and having a convo and getting our communities to get to know each other, because like I said before, like I feel like because you've been in this space for quite some time, uh, and the fitting this sort of like cute meta, like for the lows, like this cute investment thesis or whatever. I feel like the chimpers and the plushies are one of those that can actually do something super cool. You guys are are leading the way. I feel that way because obviously you guys have done heaps. There's more to come from your side. So yeah, I feel like it's really cool to finally put us kind of like in the same room, quote unquote. And there's heaps of potential, I reckon, that we can do together as as IPs and friends, builders, etc. And the
Yeah, no,
communities to get to know each other as well. But just real quick insight,
yeah.
how does a typical day look like for you, like when you're not like fully focused on you know with the stuff that you're doing, building with chimpers? How do you wind down? How do you have fun? What do you do for fun?
Um, yeah, I mean, as you know, it's like all consuming the space. It's
Mm.
hard to get a minute sometimes, but yeah, I mean, this year I really wanted to sort of focus more on getting a routine because I think like throughout the past sort of few years, especially like 22 to 2023, really, I definitely didn't prioritize my health or well-being, I guess. When you're all in on passionate about something as a founder, you have to make those sacrifices. But
Mm.
yeah, I was just sort of neglecting it, for no reason. So getting into a gym routine, I've
Yeah,
started
good.
going every other day, morning, early, runs every other day as well. I always love to run. We have like a fun fitness channel in Discord where we sort of chat about those things as well. I have a little Strava group where we can,
Oh, it's all
um,
right.
you know,
Cool.
yeah, record our runs and gym sessions, etc. So I'd say those things I absolutely like. I guess they're more of a necessity than like a hobby, but I love them and
Mm.
love football or soccer wherever you come from
Call it
in the
football,
world.
please.
Football, yeah, big United fan over here. So
Oh, mate, I feel kind of sorry for you for the
yeah,
past few years, mate. But
it's all
yeah.
right. It's okay. It's fine. We're used to it now. There's so much heartache over the past few years, but
Yeah.
yeah, Timpers and we're from Manchester, so
Right.
big United fans. So love football and also just love gaming. I think a lot of
Mm.
people that are in this space all have similar sort of shared
Yeah.
experiences and likes and dislikes. I think a lot of people came in from gaming and just
Mm.
loved the affinity to community. Like that sort of angle was
Yeah.
really what attracted me early on. Like I've always been like an avid gamer, whether it's like Oblivion just released. I don't know if you're like into that sort of stuff, like Skyrim, those sorts
Those
of
so those sorts of games are the ones that you
fantasy
are
games.
drawn to. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
those I used to play them loads, Call of Duty, just everything really,
Gotcha. Yep.
from a gaming point of view, and that like community element of chatting with random people online,
Mm.
making good friends and connections, sort of mirrors the Web3
Yeah.
experience. Really, you get that opportunity to meet people and connect, and
Which is
um,
funny if you look at because Discord was this sort of platform where gaming guilds were formed. Just
yeah.
it was used mostly for gaming, for gamers, just to chat with their friends and stream while playing and go and jump on a voice chat or whatever. And now it's interesting that it's being used heaps in our industry. Like you said, like there's so many similarities, even how you build community too. Um, but yeah,
Oh,
interesting.
100%.
Yeah, interesting that you mentioned those games though, because I'm more of a guy who leans towards RPG games where I just that's
Mm,
kind of how I wind down. Like I don't like a lot to, FPS games and shit, just because I don't want little kids shouting like a bunch of random shit and killing me all the time because I suck at it or whatever. I just like, like, even if I name my kind of like my all-time favorite games, like The Witcher 3 is out there,
Oh
Red
yeah.
Dead Redemption is there, The
Oh
Last
yeah.
of Us,
Oh
Ghosts of
yeah.
Tsushima. Those sorts of games are the ones that I'm really at. Obviously, The Legend of
Yes.
Zelda and stuff. I love those games. I love to get lost for fucking hours. Like, I start a game, let's
Oh.
say today, like it's almost midnight for me, and then I
Oh
don't even
really?
realize, and it's 4 a.m. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
damn! I
But
didn't realize it was so late.
it's all right. That's
Okay, hopefully
okay.
you're holding up okay over there.
Nah, yeah, it's all good, mate.
Yeah, but no, yeah, The Last of Us. God, I absolutely love the new series that's just come out as well.
Yep, so good.
Yeah, all of definitely love all of those things. If you're a Minecraft player as well, don't know if you are.
Mm.
We do have a Minecraft server we've just released, which
Oh,
was
cool.
yeah, sort of leaning into like obviously the things that we've released over the past few years have been Web3 gaming related, but this was more of a play on like right trying to tap into another audience like Minecraft gamers, like
Mm.
a big niche in itself. So yeah, we've made a world there inspired by the Chimpverse and organically trying to build up that community as well. And just another touch point for people to come across when they find out about Chimpers. Whether you
Mm.
come across Chimpers like from social media or like you just stumble across it through Minecraft. Yeah, just trying to meet people where they're at. But yeah, Minecraft is another one.
Mm. That's
Uh,
actually really smart, though. I keep hearing that from you, like finding people where they are, and I think it's really smart because you need to give it a go, right? It's trial and error and see if it's actually gonna, you know, click with that sort of audience too. Um,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all just about distribution, I think.
hmm
Yeah, the audience that we're sort of cultivating on like the Web2 socials, like this, there'll be so many of them that absolutely love Minecraft, and we don't want to like shove things down people's faces, like whether it's products or merch or like games. It's like trying to organically doing it in a way where people find it and if it's what they want to do then it's what they want to do so yeah again I think that's just been like a sentiment we've always had like even just building chimpers been very sort of delicate with things like that like perhaps like in some respects it's you know bitten us a little bit like in terms of maybe we should have taken the risk to
hmm
push something a bit harder or like double down on something. But for us, we've always been sort of like slowly and surely and like quite delicately, I think, in the approach that we release things. And yeah, things compound over time, I think, is what we always sort of hark back on, really.
Yep, yep. Just real quick, I see that lovely plushie. My goodness, that's
I
dude.
love the heart.
It's arguably one of the best ones because that heart is so good, and obviously with the touch of Cole with that heart. Cole, do you want to show us inside Chimper so people can see, you know, the Chimper next to the plushie?
That would be awesome.
Yep, yep. 1 second.
Damn, nice.
Cole doesn't miss.
He never misses, dude. Honestly, he's so good. We're very lucky to have him as well, and I'm just happy as well to see him doing stuff for other projects and community like yours. Because I mean, he's so talented. Honestly, like, dude, um,
Yeah,
you can tell.
100%.
Yep, yep. But dude, inside, it's been an absolute pleasure. Honestly, I really appreciate your time. I feel like it's been great, right? I feel like the community, our community, and people who've been watching this, I feel like I see that there's like 318 people watching this.
Awesome.
Um, Yeah, it's great. Like honestly, again, like thanks keeps for your time, giving us a lot of info related to chimpers, yourself as well, your journey. I hope you had a lot of fun. I certainly did. By also watching Cole creating this very, very beautiful plushie. Um, so yeah, dude, if you have anything else to add, yeah, the floor is
Ah,
yours.
yeah, no, just it's been a pleasure. I'd say like one thing that I totally forgot to mention was that we're pretty excited about was like on the Web2 social side, we've just released a really cool promotion with Kung Fu Tea in the US. They're a boba chain, like one
Oh
of the
wow.
biggest boba chains in the US, and we're working with them on a really cool sort of content collab for National Boba Day, which is April 30th. They have this
Oh,
yearly National Boba Day celebration. Is I
oh,
think like
that's next week.
boba, yeah, like boba is like sort of slowly getting into like the West, I'd say, like from
Yeah,
like Far East culture, and yeah, they're absolutely crushing it. And we had a really cool opportunity to make a content collab. We have like a cool sweepstake
amazing.
live with them for like some special t-shirts and um, gift cards with them. And we have a cool t-shirt sale, which is going to be a Chimpers X Kung Fu Tea Boba
Hmm.
collab graphic on April 30th as well. So it's more so like a again like building that like brand equity for us and tapping into their community.
Yep.
We're super stoked about it, and yeah, that's something to watch out for as well this next week. And as I mentioned, like our next card sets with Final Bosu on Abstract. So if
Nice.
we're on Abstract right now, we'll definitely be hitting up some streams for that
Yeah.
with them as well. But yeah, a
I
pleasure
feel I
to.
feel I feel obligated. If not, my community will kill me. Like we need to push for some cards with the pushes. If you're doing with the Borsu, and you're
Yeah.
focusing on abstract, like mate,
Oh, for sure.
perhaps.
Like we'll be jumping into I'm sure another abstract set where we can get like a ton of different communities, like
Hmm.
get you guys involved for sure. I'd love that.
That'd be sick, mate.
Yeah, but yeah, again, no, appreciate the time. I always forget
Thank
that
you.
like Chimpers, like although like we're doing all of these things, like we're have our own little bubble as well. So I hope it's been
Hmm.
helpful for anyone new looking to learn more. My DMs are always open to chat about Chimpers in general, and yeah, I would love to welcome more people to the Chimpverse, and would also from here, love to get more involved with the Plooshies, and
Yes, sir. Yeah.
you guys have been crushing it as well. Let's not
Thanks, mate.
forget you've been speaking to me a lot, but you guys, the Chimps have loved what you guys have been doing, like your release on Abstract with the land, and
Mm.
I think just the general direction we're going in similar ways. I
Hmm.
think what you guys are achieving is really admirable. And
I
yeah, hope
appreciate
to
that.
yeah for sure hope to connect more.
For sure, yeah. Like I said, yeah, this is something that, yeah, it's the beginning of something pretty epic. Like I said, long overdue. I feel like there's a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that we can do together, 100%. And yeah, just like Coley saying, Chimp and LF Plush. Guys, you heard the guy, the none other than Insight. I feel like he gave us a lot of insights. I can tell you that. Obviously, pun intended. But yeah, dude, thanks again, and thank you guys for tuning in for another really cool streaming session. Next week I'll be in Dubai. As you guys know, I'm currently based in Abu Dhabi, so next week I'll be hanging out with with the Pengus, with Abstract, and some other side events over there. So it should be fun. Should be a banger, like plushie proliferation all the way. And yeah, guys, thanks again. You could have been somewhere else, but you were here with us tonight. So thank you for that, and I'll catch you on the next one. And Insight, cheers, mate. Thanks,
thank
Cole.
you.
Thanks, guys.